You're listening to Puff Digital's Into the Weeds podcast, brought to you in part by Puff Puff Posts and HigherMentality.com.
The new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
So first Monday morning, we'll get into this because you're going to have to put those on sticks a bit later, and Pat will have to leave it a little bit early. Yeah. But we're here with our dear friend.
Hello. What's my
Connor Lovat-Fraser.
That's the one. Hi. Hi,
That's
guys.
the one.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What's happening?
Hi. Everything good.
Connor, we've known Connor for a long time. Connor was, we met probably in the mid-'90s.
Absolutely, we did.
Early mid-'90s. Connor
You guys
was
are old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just.
We both grew up in the Canadian punk rock scene.
Yeah. 905 board stuff.
The
905 board.
That was a big one. What was your handle on the 905 board?
What is that?
It was probably something with X's on it. It was probably like X Laconic X or something straight edge related.
So the 905 board, like in the early days when you guys would have been coming, that's where they would have advertised the Death by Stereo show.
That's
It was
true.
like the punk community board.
Okay.
That's where people had shows, but there was a huge community on it, and I still communicate with people from that to this day. Well, yourself included, but it was also it was a social hub for people that wanted to meet, and I still have a lot of friends from it. But it was
That's cool.
I was unoriginal enough to just be on Ben Rispin on it. I did because I was like, B Rispin or something.
I don't even remember what you were. I don't remember what most people were.
Yeah, and I remember Cody, our friend Cody Finney, who toured with Boys Night Out.
Yes,
your
he
band.
did.
He
Yes,
was
he did.
Party City. And
I was on there. I was Miss Murder 69.
That's who that was. Holy shit.
That's how Efrem's like, I really want to infiltrate the Southern Ontario music community.
Yeah, that was the hot time to
crack,
get at it.
You gotta crack this. It was a good time to get at it.
Yeah, those mid-'90s, and I knew it was you. It's awful. You were mean.
You're me.
Yeah, you're a dick. You're a troll.
Yeah,
Hey, man. You know,
You're like,
I just wanted to be involved, man. You guys wouldn't let me
Efrem
in,
would just
bro.
like, Efrem would just pretend he's a local. Like, yeah, man, I love Yellow Sub. You guys should check out that band Death by Stereo from Fullerton, California.
All we did all day in California when we were sitting at the
Stay on the
shitty,
mic.
shiny, sunny beach, surrounded by hot girls, was dreaming about the Hamilton punk scene, man. And you wouldn't let me in, bro. So I had to try any way I could to fit in, bro. I couldn't wait to get out of California, man.
That's a story I hear time and time again. Everybody wants out of that fucking lifestyle.
God, it's a
into
shithole,
this.
bro.
Yeah. So you got into this at a certain, really young age.
Yeah, absolutely.
When did you first discover like punk rock and things like that and counterculture?
Discover punk rock and
Well,
counterculture.
counterculture. I guess that's. I'm just assuming that's what got you into it. But
It was, hip hop came before punk rock for
Did it?
me, for sure.
Nice.
When I was in elementary school, I was always getting my tapes taken away by teachers, my NWA tapes, my Tone Loc cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was.
She took away your Tone Loc
Can you
cassette?
fucking believe it?
yeah.
No.
Unprovoked. She just didn't like the lyrical content.
She will pay.
Big Daddy Kane taken away from me. And
so cool.
yeah, it was heartbreaking. 7th grade, they took my Big Daddy Kane. And I always loved it because he had Mr. C in the group. And I was like, that's me. I'll be Mr. C.
You were Mr. C. That's who you
In my
identified
head.
with?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that your good rapping
Well, I
name?
just
'Cause the
figured
C?
like the C. It made sense. It was
Or
what
do you
everybody
still
did.
identify as Mr. C?
I always will. It's always going to be a part of me. That was deep, man. That ran deep. So that was elementary school. And then eventually just discovered punk rock because I think hip hop and punk rock were always deeply
Yeah.
intertwined.
Absolutely.
So
Makes sense.
it just came from the same thing. And that was, in the 80s. So yeah, it all mixed together.
Right.
What was the 80s like?
It was
For you.
rough. It was rough for everybody. It was me growing up listening to hip hop.
But you did come from a pretty liberal house, didn't you?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, like you, Connor, one of my favorite stories of Connor, and I remember him telling me this years ago on the back of a car, that he started calling his parents by their first names at the age of
Absolutely.
6 or 7.
It was pretty young. It was very young. Yeah, it just something you did, and it wasn't a disrespect thing.
Yeah.
Just like, well, I know who you are. I know what your names are.
Did your parents think it was weird?
They did not like it at first, and then it became fine. And now
And now you have your own daughter that calls you.
she calls me Connor. Absolutely.
Do you call your parents by their names still?
You know what? I've tried in like my mid to late 30s. I tried calling them mom and dad just to be like, well, they're not going to be here forever. I'll give them some respect while I can.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can take that and I'll get a bigger chunk of the inheritance.
Oh, wow.
So you do call them mom, dad now?
Well, I try to. But it's so deeply ingrained at this point.
Like,
Linda.
What did your parents do?
They've been real estate agents for fucking ever.
Yeah.
So they've been all up in that real estate game in Southern Ontario. Rod and Linda, what? Yeah, and still do it to this day.
Really? And so they were. You grew up in East End, Burlington, the Burlington area.
All over Burlington. I mean, there was the East End. We were there. We were in the North End. There was Oakville for a while. I was born in Kitchener. So
I was born in Kitchener as well.
Well, shit, I remember you. St. Mary's Hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, respect.
Wow.
Respect.
When's your
buddy.
birthday?
June 30th, 79.
Dude, I saw your tag on the wall. I was November 19th.
Yeah, they knew me there, man. I had a real fucking culture going on at St. Mary's.
Really?
I fucking took that place. I pissed on everything.
Running game, calling all the
Oh,
nurses by their
yeah.
first name.
Mm-hmm. In whatever baby battle I could.
And then, so were your parents into you listening to hip hop? Were they like did they monitor the culture you took in at a young age very much?
It wasn't too monitored, but they I don't think they loved it because they would hear shit and I was stuff like NWA. Mm-hmm. So suburban white kid listening to stuff. They're like, what is this music all about? Drugs and gang violence and stuff. They didn't love it, but they were always cool with it. Mm-hmm. They never took my stuff away. Mm-hmm. Even when school or parents' moms that I lent stuff to would take it away and say, why is Connor giving my kid this terrible cassette? They were always cool with it.
And so were they creatives themselves?
No. That it's not really a creative family at all. They're very boring people, empty inside and with no joy to spare.
Do Rod and Linda have their own billboards together?
They used to.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The team of Rod and Linda Lovat-Fraser, you better believe it, man. Back when the local TV channel would run ads, they would have theirs come up where they're together arm in arm.
Nice.
You get it, guys.
And so is Lovat-Fraser representing both of them? Is that why you have both last names?
No, that's from my deep, rich Scottish, which is Scottish heritage. It's like Scottish cheese as well.
That's the
something that you serve that with your haggis.
You're really Scottish.
Yeah, Scottish royalty, Lord Lovett of Clan Fraser.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's a fact.
Really?
Yep.
Really? And when did your parents come to Canada?
Oh,
Do you know? Or when did your family come here? A long time ago?
long
generations?
time ago. Oh yeah,
Grandparents
generations.
grew up here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did they have thick Scottish accents? Or
No, man, I missed all that. At least the family that I knew, they didn't. I could understand everybody perfectly well, which was kind of a bummer.